Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today, we are from Group 3. We'll present to you a documentary video about circular economy. And within it, we will also be discussing about plastic waste concern in Malaysia and also the actions taken by the government and also our community related to circular economy. Without further ado, let's dive right in. Plastic waste is an accumulation in the environment of synthetic plastic products to the point where they create problems for wildlife and their habitats, as well as for human populations. By the end of the 20th century, plastics had been found to be the most persistent polluters of many environmental niches. So, why do plastics recognized as persistent polluters? Here's the thing. The chemical structure of most plastics renders them resistant to many natural processes of degradation, and as a result, they are slow to degrade. That is why there are a large volume of plastics entering the environment as mismanaged waste, and it stays or persists in the ecosystem for a long time. With the general idea of plastic waste has been explained, let's move on to the plastic waste scene in Malaysia, where environmental problems related to plastic waste have become a major problem in our country, where our country has been ranked as 8th among the top 10 countries with mismanaged plastic waste in the world. A study estimated that Malaysia had produced 0.94 million tons of mismanaged plastic waste, of which 0.14 to 0.37 million tons may have been washed into the oceans. And those statistics show and give us a big picture on how severe the plastic waste problem in Malaysia currently. So, what about the actions from the government and also from our community in combating this problem? So, now let's focus on the government first. The Malaysian government has introduced Malaysia Roadmap towards Zero Single-Use Plastics 2018 to 2030. The vision of the roadmap is to take a phased, evidence-based and holistic approach by involving all stakeholders in jointly addressing single-use plastics pollution in Malaysia. The roadmap is envisaged to deploy actions that can lead to a more sustainable pathway, thus establishing a more circular, cleaner and healthier environment by 2030. As a part of a sustainable drive to foster a circular economy, companies are urged by the government to implement a buyback program. Brand owners must take responsibility for their product waste, such as water bottles, cooking oil bottles, and plastic containers and etc. The collector can then be compensated with a fair price as an incentive. So all the things that have been mentioned earlier are some of the actions and initiatives that have been taken by the government to address this plastic waste problem in Malaysia in the context of circular economy. But how about the community section? So let's move on.
Apart from the implementation of the Malaysia's roadmap towards zero single-use plastics from the government, the private sector has also taken its own initiative in addressing the issue of plastic waste concern in Malaysia. This organisation is known as Malaysia Eco-Breakers Community. It is a partnership program under the management of Impactlution, which is Impact Revolution Enterprise, a social enterprise, with the fully support and development by the Sustainable Business Network Association Malaysia. So, what is EcoBrick? EcoBrick is a plastic bottle packed to a set density with used, clean and dry plastic to achieve a building block that can be used over and over again. This is to step stone out of the old paradigm of waste and trash, giving back value towards what once valueless. So, this eco-bricks was designed to leverage the longevity and durability of plastic to create an indefinitely reusable building block. These eco-bricks can be used to make modular furniture, garden spaces, walls, and even full-scale buildings. Eco-bricks are an exciting way that individuals, communities, and companies can start their immediate transition from plastic towards ever greener harmony with the Earth's cycles. They are made by cleaning, drying, then packing plastics into a PET drinking bottle. This enables plastic to be kept out of the environment and out of the ineffective industrial recycling system. In conclusion, this program is very much in line with the concept of circular economy, where plastic disposal will be recycled or reused into useful goods, while overcoming the problem of plastic waste concern in Malaysia.
How do eco-bricks affect our environment? Do they make it better or worse than before? Let's find out. In our environment, plastic wastes are everywhere, especially in our ocean, sitting in the ocean bottom, mixing with the water, and also floating on the surfaces. And because of that, some of the animals are trapped in the plastic and swallowing it. After that, they will die of starvation after eating a lot of indigestible things. Thus, even the whale washed up after eating trash in the ocean deep. So, do you think banning plastics can create a better world? Unfortunately, it is more complicated than that. To solve the problems, one of the solutions to reduce the non-plastic waste is eco-bricks. There are simple ways to use the eco-bricks, such as building walls, small houses, decorations, and even stairs. Besides, the eco-bricks also can be reused to build other structures again, and again. Rather than incurring a lot of cost building concrete structures, we can mix the structures with eco-bricks. So, by using eco-bricks, we can reduce the building costs, make the place more beautiful, and the most important thing is to prevent all the plastics to be dumped. It is better to do this method than do nothing at all.
According to World Bank Group, Philippines has lower recycling capacity than Thailand and Malaysia, which is only able to formally recycle 15% of post-use plastics compared to 27% in Thailand and up to 58% in Malaysia. In 2018 and 2019, Philippines was a net exporter of plastic scrap. This is a sign of the huge recycling capacity gap, which Philippines lack 85% of the required recycling capacity. Thailand and Malaysia, on the other hand, have greater recycling capability, resulting in a greater reliance on imported plastic scrap for recycling. To head towards a circular economy and address solid waste management, Philippine government has published the National Solid Waste Management Strategy 2012-2016, Philippine Development Plan 2017-2022 that targets a national waste diversion rate of 80% by 2022 and Philippine Action Plan for Sustainable Consumption and Production in 2019. Meanwhile, Thai government acknowledged the National Roadmap on Plastic Waste Management 2018-2030, which private sector actors are well equipped to close material loops and drive plastic circularity through innovation in product design, business models, recycling technologies, and project financing under an enabling business environment in collaboration with the public sectors and other stakeholders. Malaysian plastic industry presents an economic case for developing an advanced and modern industry with the commitment of all stakeholders across the whole plastic value chain. As one of the Malaysian corporations leading the way, Petronas Chemical Group Berhad has prioritized addressing plastic waste and pollution issues with its own new plastic economy initiative in 2019. Lastly, Malaysia, Philippines, and Thailand communities also use eco-bricks as a transition from plastic towards ever greener harmony with the earth cycle. Usually, eco-bricks are used to put an element of sustainability, creativity, and grand solution to better use.